Tristan! Let me out of this damned cage, you stupid little good elf. Otherwise, I'll have a hard time wringing your scrawny neck. What the hell do you want from me anyway?
Talia, stepsister, your deplorable deeds must not go unpunished. You have slain our foster father Tanos, a blasphemous affront to our goddess, whom you, to top it all off, have also slain. But we will have plenty of time to argue on our journey. I am here for the stone. Brynhild, if you please.
You know you can, you little cutie. Oi! Go on, you lazy locks. Get that destroyer of worlds class hammer going.
Talia had been captured. Only the bubbling around the place essence of absolute evil could save her. It was amusing to leave Talia in the clutches of her brother. But on the other hand, without her help, the shapeless evil would probably just roam the countryside as a disembodied something or other and at best be hired for third-rate horror movies. Fortunately, a forgotten dungeon heart lying in the underground could quickly be reactivated. Together with the creatures of the Horde, it would be easy to smash the do-gooder heroes there to smithereens.
さて、ということで、さらわれたメインヒロインを救出するために、今回からはダンジョンパートです。ダンジョンではチビというワーカーに仕事を指示します。本的には、各部屋の建設という流れを何回も繰り返していくことになります。
まずは金庫の建設ですね。
ダンジョン運営にも金は必要ですからね。作が完了しました。
公式でていない岩があるようですが、
これは金鉱脈。掘ることによってゴールドを獲得できます。しかし金庫がなければ保管することもできません。研究画面から金庫を研究していきます。次に金鉱脈の周りを金庫にしてしまいましょう。チビたちは金鉱脈を掘削したらゴールドを金庫へと運ぶので、金鉱脈と金庫は近い方が良いです。
The gold-hungry evil had built a treasury. The meager amount that could be stored in the throne room was simply not even close to enough for a proper gold bath.
次は食料、七面鳥農場を作ろうとのことです。指示された区画の掘削を指示して少し待ちます。さて、それでは七面鳥農場を研究します。そして建設を指示。
The gluttony-loving evil had built a gobbler farm. Here, delicious gobblers were raised to serve as food for the Horde.
これで七面鳥農場ができました。七面鳥農場では、コストなしで次々と七面鳥が生産されます。
こんな機能クソコ深くでどうやって？
このゲームシリーズ最大の謎でもあります。さて、次はモンスターの味と、つまりは住居を作っていきます。クリーチャーの種類によって欲求は様々なのですが、モンスターの場合、住居と食料、そして給料が必要です。今回雇用するのは、モンスター派閥のキャラたち。近距離戦が得意なオーク、体の小さいゴブリン、回復が得意なラミアなどがいます。彼らの住居となるアジトを作成していきます。雇用するための下準備が整いました。いよいよモンスターたちを雇用していきます。
The army raising evil had recruited its first creature, a bit underwhelming.
モンスターを雇用すると、自動でアジトにベッドが作成されます。
ベッドの大きさは 2×2 なので、それが効率よく収まる部屋のサイズが望ましいですね。
あと、ダークロードである主人公は部下を平手打ちすることで効率を上げることができます。
特にコストのかからない便利な小技なのですが、いちいちめんどくさいのであまり使いません。
excellent things could be done with it, such as exploring new stuff. However, first, a place had to be found where the
ほう、
evil
ダー
was
クエネ
to
ル
be
ギーの貯蔵
stored.
ですか。
The
前作
absolute
でユジャ
evil
クサ
quickly
がダークエネルギーに名前を変え、
built a vault
貯
of
蔵
evilness.
庫を必要とするシステムになったようです。
The glamorous
これで
evil
ダークエ
had
ネル
built
ギ
a
ー貯蔵庫
vault
が
of
完成。
evilness.
ダンジョン内
This
のダーク
allowed
エネ
it
ル
to
ギーをチビた
henceforth
ちが自動で
store
運んできて
evilness
くれます。
and use
ダークエネルギーはおそらく研究などで使うんですよね。
it. And
Oi! No need to sit around being lazy when we could be picking up a little gold while we're here, eh? On you go, lads. Grab the nearest gold vein.
sooner or later, the greedy dwarves would dig their way into the dungeon.
おや、招か
The
ざる客が来
perfidious
たよう
evil
です。
used a
蓋を
workshop
たまたま
to
掘ってい
prepare
たとは明かしですか。
traps to stop
このままだとダンジョンを掘り当ててしまうそうですが。
dwarves.
今、ダンジョンを守る戦力がありません。まずは、作業部屋を作ってからトラップの生産に取り掛かりましょう。
Technological progress has almost always been a fine thing. Further research could not only make new units or rooms available, but also increase the maximum number of little snots or
一
creatures.
部の部屋
The
には
hard
作業
work
ユニッ
allowing
トという
evil
機械
had
設備が
built
必
a
要になります。
tinkerer's cave.
ブロック製
Here,
造機を作業部屋に
little
配置しま
snots
す。
could use the work units to make
次にトラップ技術を研究します。トラップの作成にはブロックが3つ必要です。ブロック製造機でチビがブロックを製造してくれるまで少し待ちます。
ブロックの製造がようやく終わりました。
トラップを作ってみましょう。
The cunning evil had placed the first traps. This would make it much harder for the greedy dwarves to steal the gold from the treasury or even destroy the dungeon heart itself.
なんとかトラップの建設が間に合いました。
やっぱブロック製造機1台じゃ効率悪いですね。次からは2台置ける作業部屋を作って効率化させたいところです。
Oi! Something dug into my little gold mine. Yeah! They had to be stinky ones, whose skulls are at best used as toilet paper holders in the lavatory. Okay, boys! Tear this joint to the ground!
Dwarves had opened a passage into the dungeon. The little snots immediately executed Order 67, as they had been instructed to do by Talia in such a case, which meant that they ran through the dungeon with their arms flapping wildly. At the same time, they opened the secret trap cache, so that the tricky evil could give the dwarves a very warm welcome.
Oi! Did you little honey buns forget your little baby bottles? Or how did you manage to lose to a bunch of lousy orcs? But fine. We still have some reinforcements here. Reinforcements? Attack!
Obviously, the danger from the dwarves had not yet been neutralized. Luckily, the little snots had made a few traps in their spare time, and they were only too happy to make available to the all-consuming evil.
ドワーフたちの行動とダンジョンが繋がってしまいました。モンスターたちで進行しても良いのですが、このステージのチャレンジの中に、罠で英雄を10人倒すというものがあったので、この辺で少し粘ってみます。
A hamster wheel of death had been put in position. Heroes who stepped on the trigger would definitely be anything but happy. A Thrasher trap not only took out one hero, it also provided any and all surrounding heroes with some nutritious cauliflower at the same time. Cauliflower ears, that is. Another saw trap was mounted halfway up, to be even more effective against dwarves. The saw trap was perfectly suited. The dwarves were defeated for the time being. Satisfied, the essence of absolute evil rubbed something together that could perhaps pass for two hands together. The all-destroying evil had conquered the exit. This left the way to the surface open for its troops. The absolute evil's creatures blinked a little as they stepped into the glaring light of the sun. Finally, they could lay waste not only to the boring corridors of the dungeon, but also to the lush green meadows of the overworld.
ダンジョンパートで力を蓄えたらいよいよ地上パート。地上を進行して蹂躙していきましょう。
Payday!
Oi! I have to protect the blueprint, Snookums. Otherwise, the orcs will eventually end up building some decent machinery here. Well then, keep your chin up, Toodles!
Brynhild! What are you doing? I thought your dwarves could easily handle a few orcs.
Problems, brother mine? Oh, what a shame. I had actually already planned on making myself a tea set out of dwarf skulls.
Talia, your evilness truly knows no bounds. These dwarves are part of the Alliance of Good. You were also once part of that alliance.
相手のドワーフは撤退してしまったようですね。
我が軍の前には、正義の軍隊など紙くず同然です。
このまま広場に突入して、目標のハンマーを破壊してしまいましょう。
The dwarven equipment spectacularly went up in flames, which was rather odd, as the creatures had only been hitting the thing with their weapons. But fine, perhaps horde weapons were made of flint. Yet the distraction provided by the dwarven intervention had shifted the destruction-loving evil's focus long enough for Talia and her stepbrother Tristan to disappear into the distance. With an imaginary sigh, the staggering evil took one last look around before setting off in pursuit. The path led to the Hellwoods, an eerie place claimed by the demonic creatures of the underworld.
ということでキャンペーンクリアです。
タリアは相変わらずさらわれたままですか？ピーチ姫かな？
次回もタリアを取り戻すための戦いが続きます。ご視聴ありがとうございました。